EA's Grand Theft Auto meets Marlon Brando game version of The Godfather is done alright for itself on other consoles. But what happens when a bunch of mobsters get all touchy-feely with the Nintendo Wii? We'll tell you what happens. You tilt the controller around like crazy, and people get whacked.
And I hope that their first child be a masculine child.
Thank you, Luca. My most valued friend.
If you rent the movie or read the book, the first part of the Godfather trilogy is a damn good story. If you play the game, it's okay. The game's plot runs parallel to that of the film, giving you a few opportunities to brush up against the storyline. You'll personally protect the Don during his hospital stay, for example, and make sure that Horsehead gets into that guy's bed. The story material added to the game isn't quite as impressive. There's definitely some decent original dialogue in here, but with the blank slate nature of your character and some predictable story twists that are entirely out of the player's hands, it just doesn't have much impact. The story adds some basic framework, but you really have to enjoy the game on its own merits.
I asked you to bring us a car, not the entire fucking police force.
The game does know how to present itself, though. On this, the day of his game's release, The Godfather has generously provided you with an impressively large model of 1950s New York to run amok in. Like Grand Theft Auto, you can jog around doing your own thing or complete missions to further your career. Talking to important people and doing favors lets you climb up the mafia ladder, while side missions like extorting local businesses and taking over enemy turf let you build cash and prestige.
Okay, I'll play along. I'm just trying to make a living.
The game's story isn't what you'd call open-ended, but it's not necessarily a straight ride all the way through either. You do have some choice on how to progress through the game, with an aggressive self-starter alternative path that revolves around dedicating yourself to wiping out the opposing families. And depending on your ambition, you can end the game as a trusted underboss or as the new Don of New York, assuming you can survive some of the game's tougher missions. To increase your odds, you'll regularly be able to buff up your character's abilities in various categories, getting bonuses to your health, speed, shooting accuracy, and other mobsterly attributes. The game also lets you call in a 4-man hit squad when things get tough, which it will. Mob wars are ugly business after all.
You can't hurt me!
The big question with any Wii title is how do the unique motion-sensitive controls fit the game? In this case, they actually fit pretty well. There's definitely an adjustment period, but once you get the hang of things, the punching and precision targeting work just as good as they would with a standard controller. As a bonus, it does feel brutal tossing a guy across the room by jerking around the Wiimote, or performing one of the game's many close-up executions. Even if the control method isn't quite a perfect fit with a traditional third-person action game. Altogether, the Wii controls don't really add or take away much from the core game. They work though, which is quite an accomplishment. The few quirks the game has don't directly tie into the Wii controls. Things get a little wonky when facing multiple enemies, so like a lot of not quite perfect third-person shooters, you have to find your own methods to come to terms with the game's issues. We personally recommend serial strangling.
Shot! Let him have it!
The Godfather Black Hand Edition is a good port of a pretty good game, which controls very decently with the Wii controller. That's not quite a glowing recommendation, but this game does deserve some respect. If you're looking for a traditional action game on the Wii, or have a Grand Theft Auto itch that needs to be scratched, The Godfather might just be able to help you out.
Now you get the hell out of here! And if that Goombot tries any rough stuff, you tell him I ain't no band leader. Yeah, I heard that story.